Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Luke 1:69, and have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So everything is according to the prophets and the prophecies, that we should be saved from our enemies, the other nations, and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, all right, which means it's directly connected to lineage, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he sware to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us that we, the Israelites, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, the other nations, might serve him without fear. Right, and this was for the same causes. That's what happened in Egypt, right? Now, let's get 2 Ezra 6:54. It says, and after after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom the Lord has chosen. Okay, so all people are not chosen. All right, the Israelites are the chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Right? The world wasn't made for mankind's sake, or the animals, or the plants' sake. It was made for the Israelites' sake. As for the other people, the other nations, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto the drop that falleth from a vessel, meaning they're insignificant. Right? So when they're telling you that John 3:16, for God so loved the world, it can't be including these people, because the Lord said that they're insignificant to him. And let Chat GPT break the English down for you, because you might think, oh, that's just you. You don't know English, you don't understand English. Okay, check this out. Let's put that into the Chat GPT, and it's gonna break the English down for you. It says this quote is from the book of 2nd Esdras, also known as 4th Esdras, specifically from chapter 6, verse 56. Found in the Apocrypha of the Bible, in this verse, the speaker is addressing God, expressing a view that the other nations and peoples, aside from the chosen people, the Israelites, are considered insignificant in comparison to them. The comparison to spittle and the drop that falleth from a vessel emphasizes their perceived insignificance. This reflects the divine favoritism and the special status of the Israelites in the context of biblical literature. So Christianity is a fraud. This idea that God is this all loving and he's so universal and humanitarian and humanism, and no, man, the Most High is dealing with one people, and he made that clear through his prophets. It says, and by the way, this is Ezra is also a quote in the same as Isaiah in the 40th chapter. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Ever being reputed as nothing. This is going to be key. So, which have ever been reputed as nothing. Let's get that part and put it into the chat. Let's see how the English breaks down. Okay. This continuation of the quote from 2nd Esdras highlights a lamentation about the current state of the Israelites. The full passage, including your initial quote and this continuation, reads, all right, in this passage, the speaker is expressing distress and confusion about how the nations that were considered insignificant, reputed as nothing, have gained power over the Israelites and are oppressing them. This reflects a theme of divine justice and questioning why God's chosen people are suffering under the rule of those they view as inferior. Right? See, the other nations were inferior, and this was ever reputed. This is what's in the scriptures. This is how, where did they get that from? They got it from the scriptures. All right? Now, I want to show you that Ezra's in that particular era was one of the last prophets, right? In that particular era. So when you're talking about all these prophets you see here and all these prophetic books and writings came before Esdras, and he said the heathen have always been reputed as nothing, right? Obadiah, Joel, Elijah, Micah, Amos, Hosea, all these prophets and great men writ before Ezra. And Ezra understood, based upon what was in the prophets, that the other nations were inferior and insignificant to the Most High. So when did they start being significant? Never. The Lord don't change. He said, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. But the Christians want you to believe that he loves them. But how? Because in the same New Testament, it says to refer back to the prophets. But when you go into the prophets, they were ever reputed as nothing. And Paul said the things written aforetime were written for our learning. And the scriptures say, as he spake by the mouth of the holy prophets. The holy prophets reputed the other nations as nothing. And that was according to the will and the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right? So one more. Isaiah 40 and 15, it says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh of the isles as a very little thing. And we already seen Ezra break it down that this is in comparison to the Israelites. All right, let's copy that. Okay, let's see what it says. It emphasizes the insignificance of the nations and islands compared to the greatness and the power of God. The imagery of a drop of a bucket and of a small dust of the balance conveys the idea that in the grand scheme of divine creation and power, even the mightiest nations and lands are trivial. This verse highlights the theme of God's supreme sovereignty and the humility of humanity. But we read in Ezra that it's specifically the nations is specifically talking about the other nations, because we know that Israel is the apple of his eye. So these other nations in the prophecies, in the prophets, have been nothing. But then you want us to believe that the Most High sacrificed his only begotten Son for people that he regards as insignificant and nothing. It makes no sense. Okay? So when you see these guys trying to turn the Bible into this universal generalization, humanity, book about humanity and mankind, and God loves everyone and he's fair and he's equal and all this garbage, that's BS. Because Ezra confirmed that it was established belief that the Israelites were superior to the other nations, and that to the Most High, these other nations were insignificant. And I just confirmed that, as even Isaiah said it, all the prophets, this was what was understood. And that never changed. And it ain't changed to this day. But these goofy Christians want you to believe that the Lord did a U-turn. The Lord don't do U-turns. Straightforward. All right? So with that, I'm going to say shalom.